As 2024 comes to a close, Fall Guys will be approaching its 5-year anniversary in 2025, and here's my Fall Guys 2025 wishlist. With the introduction of the winter update aka 11.5 on December 7th, 2024, the ability to change an object's material was added. This honestly opens the door to different kinds of materials they can add, and the ones that I really want are ice, stone, wood, metal, marble, and leather. The simplicity of Fall Guys along with its playful art style is incredibly iconic. Along with that, each season would get a different theme which remixes the original theme while giving that season its own sense of identity. However, since moving on to creative mode, believe it or not, we haven't gotten a new theme since the most introduction back in May 10th, 2023, or 19 months ago. And while we've gotten color palettes and a custom color picker, which while incredible, don't get me wrong, you can only go so far with those. However, with materials, you're able to add something incredibly important, that being texture. And with them allowing us to change the color of materials, I truly think this can be leveraged to make some incredibly looking levels. To me anyways, it feels that they couldn't make themes fast enough since these updates typically last anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, and with themes they would basically need to change the look of every single object and every single obstacle to match whatever the theme or whatever vibe they're going for. It feels like they abandoned the idea of themes early on and decided to pivot to the color palettes and color picker, and you can't convince me otherwise. While they covered the major parts of the theme, that being the colors and the skybox, not all obstacles can be overlapped, and frankly they don't look that great when people choose to overlap them anyways. With themes, we would get obstacles and objects that fit the aesthetic of the theme, such as the digital theme for example. You can't just recreate things like the helper arrow, the spinning disc, hammer, or really any of the moving obstacles. I just feel like it's lazy on Minotaur's end not to have at least made one new theme in 2024. I feel like the Scrapyard Stumble update would have been perfect to actually introduce a new theme, that being the Scrapyard theme, as that update was the closest thing we got to a season of Fall Guys, so it would have been great to see a Scrapyard theme. On August 19th, 2024, Epic Games introduced a web shop for Fortnite, which allows you to view and buy things that are present in the item shop right from your browser, and honestly, I want this for Fall Guys so badly. You're able to see what's in the shop by going to Fall Guys DB or FG Analyst. Being able to buy things right from your browser would be incredibly convenient, so as long as you're able to buy everything just like you would in the item shop. And to be blunt, I don't feel like Fall Guys is popular enough to warrant something like this, but hey, a man can dream, right? I don't even know why I bother asking for this, because it's probably never gonna happen, but deep down, there's a part of me that has hope this will come into fruition, and that's being able to gift Showbucks skins, bundles, and the Fame Pass. The first time I asked for this was all the way back in October of 2021, or over 3 years ago. I had hope when I saw the shop have gift icons on everything back in 10.8.0 or at the start of the survival update, but that ended up being a bug since that icon is used for when something is free, which is technically a gift but not something you can gift to other people, so not really a proper gifting feature. With the web shop, maybe they would allow gifting as an exclusive feature, but who am I kidding, it's never going to be a thing, is it? You didn't think I'd get this far without talking about UNVAULTS, did you? This year has been quite eventful when it comes to bringing back Unity maps. We got the return of several maps such as the following: Roll-On, Speed Circuit, Ski Fall, Hyperdrive Heroes, Bubble Trouble, Egg Siege, Egg Scramble, Hoarders, Rock and Roll, Seesaw, Power Trip, and most importantly, Space Race, which I may add was only live for 33 days before getting vaulted, and it finally got released on August 1st, 2024. Honestly, I'm shocked, but I shouldn't be, that Cosmic Highway is still vaulted. At this point, I'm sure they release Fall Guys 2 before unvaulting Cosmic Highway. It's insane how that map has only been live for 41 days and just disappeared off the face of the planet. And in my last wishlist video, I mentioned how there were 19 levels that are still in the vault. And if you discount Treat Thieves, since the level will only appear during the month of Halloween, we currently have 12 Unity maps that are still vaulted. And what's crazy is that the bulk of the unvaults were in the 11.0 and the 11.1 update, which is the June and the July updates respectively. We did get Bubble Trouble back in the 11.2 or the Scrapyard Stumble update, which was huge since that map was gone for years. And just like last year, I still want all the Unity levels back in the game regardless if I like them or not. And it seems like that wish is slowly becoming more true with time. But if I could only choose 3 maps I want to see, those would be the following: Freezy Peak, Cosmic Highway, and Sweet Thieves. Minotaur did a fantastic job on fixing and vaulting Unity levels, and while we did get a few levels that got vaulted, such as Bean Hill Zone, Block Party, Pipe Dream, Party Promenade, Puzzle Path, Star Chart, and Wall Guys, we thankfully got a ton of levels back. And honestly, Bean Hill Zone being vaulted is probably not even Minotaur's fault, and it was probably at the request of Sega since they were working on their own Fall Guys-like game at the time. And I believe the game is called Sonic's Toy Party or something like that, I can't remember. I just don't see a reality where Bean Hill Zone will be back in Fall Guys, just because Sega will actually not allow their IP to be in a competitor's game. So if you discount Bean Hill Zone and Tree Thieves, we actually have 11 Unity levels that are still vaulted. Do I think we'll get every Unity level back in the game? Unfortunately, no. Most of the levels are gone due to the 10.9 physics change, and while they did bring back Seesaw, but from what I can tell, the issues with the Seesaw still hasn't been fixed properly, but I could be wrong on that. I just don't think they're going to try and fix most of the broken levels anytime soon, especially since most of the broken levels actually require a full-on rework like Star Chart, because you can actually just jump dive and avoid the invisible bridge altogether. But listen, as long as you get Freezy Peak, Cosmic Highway, and Sweet Thieves back, I'll be well fed. If you had to choose only 3 maps that could be brought back in Fall Guys in 2025, what map would it be? Comment below and let me know. Listen, before you say it, I know there's like a 0.00 like 1% chance of this happening, but it's not 0. So let's keep an open mind. What if we had an object which was grabbable that when we pointed on something compatible, it changes the scale or size, sort of like a shrinking gun, but instead of shrinking, it shrinks and increases the size of something. I call this the SCALEINATOR. We'd be able to control what objects this item affects, obviously. I could imagine people making some fantastic puzzle maps in which you have to change the size of certain objects to pass through a particular section or to reveal a hidden path. Although this object would have very limited appeal and be relegated to niche levels. And just to be clear, this will only work on objects and not players. Following on the footsteps of the last request, a controller that can control the scale of an object that's linked to is more realistic. This would work similarly to the rotation controller. If possible, it would be great if you could link an object to the rotation and scale controller so that we could create some wacky looking objects. In Mario Maker, a game, or well, 2 games actually, in which you can make your own Mario levels, you're able to see the clear rate or how many people beat the level, and I'd love to see something like this make it to Fall Guys. It'd be nice to see the clear rate in the level splash image. However, being able to see it before we play a level, say in the Discovery tab, or when selecting it in customs, will be most beneficial. Basically, I want to see what I'm getting myself into, because if a level has an incredibly low clear rate, it could be a signal that this level is incredibly difficult, or that this level is one of those little teamy levels where it's just super obnoxious, super annoying, has tons of just obstacle spam, and that the only reason why it has a low clear rate is just because it's obnoxious and that people just don't want to clear the level. I featured this in my 2024 wishlist video, and I'll keep doing so until it becomes a thing. Let us turn off the user interface while in Fall Guys Creative. This would allow people to show off the levels in social media, make trailers, and take some incredible screenshots without having the UI mucking it all up. According to a comment I received on my 11.5 First 7 Days video, apparently the minecart celebration has an Easter egg that has like a 1 in 100 chance of appearing. I can't prove this myself, but this gave me the idea of celebration variation, where you have a chance of getting a different version of a celebration. We have skins that have a chance of being a different version, such as the Among Us set of skins, for example. They call it random style, and I'd love to see this be applied to celebrations. They don't have to have big changes, just tiny differences would be great, but obviously the bigger the better. While it would be great if they could apply this to older celebrations, I could see them making this a feature with new celebrations going forward, which, while understandable, does low-key suck. Like Monopoly, if it has an audience, there will be an Uno version, and I'm surprised there has been an Uno version of Fall Guys. The game has a Monopoly board, and they wouldn't need to do much to apply to Uno. They could add a special rule or two, but just a version with the characters on the card will suffice. As someone who was way into opening Pokemon cards during 2020 to 2021, just having Fall Guys collector cards or like Fall Guys trading cards would just be absolutely incredible. This game has such a rich history and just a plethora of skins they could pull from. Just imagine opening a pack and getting like a Golden Knight or a Marvelous or a Golden Witch, or like one of the fast food skins, or the classic chicken skin, or the Malar, card, or just whatever. If they were to make like collecting trading cards or like a trading card or whatever, they were probably based on the legacy seasons, just like they did with the Monopoly site, where it's actually based on like I believe legacy season 1 if I recall correctly. But either way, this game has a ton of content they can actually pull from and just make into trading cards. As someone who used to make guides, I love guidebooks. Although the internet has made them obsolete, it is something about a physical book that hits different, and making guidebooks about Fall Guys Creative could be a potential money printer, because books do get outdated pretty quickly, which means Izzytorium can keep updating them as a result. Mojang makes guidebooks on the different aspects of Minecraft, such as survival, creative, and redstone to name a few. They need to find a way to print the books, distribute them, and obviously making them has its own expenses as well. It may be a costly endeavor that will prove fruitless, since this would target a very niche group of people. Like, this group would need to be into Fall Guys Creative and into making maps about Fall Guys Creative. And that gets like, if you get too niche with it, you could potentially strike gold, especially if that niche is starving for some sort of content that you could provide. But in this case, I just think it wouldn't really amount to anything. I just think it'd be really cool. While making guidebooks may be a fruitless endeavor, an art book would show a different side to Fall Guys. All they would need to do is just show concept art of the game, and if they sprinkle in interviews with the developers and put in tidbits and fun facts about the game's development, I could see this absolutely printing money, especially if they release and market this during the game's 5th year anniversary. They posted quite a few concepts on various platforms like ArtStation and on social media, but having it all in one book would preserve these wonderful works of art for many years to come. This game has a rich history, and this would be a great way of showcasing it to a new audience. What is your Fall Guys 2025 wishlist? Comment below and let me know, and happy holidays everyone. Thank you for a wonderful 2024, and thank you to our Max Tour members for your support as always.